if the words I'm speaking today are making your heart sink, then you should do the honorable thing and resign. We would thank you for your service.
That was Pete Hegseth in his ridiculous and much mocked speech to the generals, and it's strange to hear him talk about people doing the honorable thing, considering all of what we know is alleged to have happened in his past. But that was an ultimatum saying, if you don't like what I'm saying, or it went unstated by him, maybe if the generals don't like seeing a drunken talk show host anti-woke scold them from the stage, regardless, maybe you should step down. Maybe your service will not be needed anymore. And the issue is, there's been a lot of people who have either stepped down or have been purged. Again, just like why you would put a person like Pete Hegseth in charge of the Department of Defense in the first place, Donald Trump wants loyalists. He doesn't care about expertise. He doesn't care about experience, competency, anything like that. He wants people who will never say no. And so he's got that with Pete Hegseth. But he's also got, the top ranks of our different branches of the military that are losing their experts. They're losing their people with all the experience. So on Friday, Pete Hegseth fired the chief of staff of the Navy, that's John Harrison, an unusually powerful top aide, MSNBC says, who had orchestrated a reshuffle of the service's bureaucracy. The Pentagon confirmed his departure, saying we're grateful for his service, but he's now gone. Some others did resign. General Brian Fenton, head of the US Special Operations Command, that doesn't sound important. And General Thomas Busseri, a top Air Force commander. We don't know if that's related to the speech, but it's decades-long careers and they resigned days after the speech. So maybe the two are linked. There were other firings recently too. In late August, he fired Lieutenant General Jeffrey Cruz, who served as the director of the Defense Intelligence Agency, as well as Rear Admiral Milton Sands, a Navy SEAL officer who oversaw the Naval Special Warfare Command. 4 days earlier, General David Alvin, the chief of staff of the Air Force, was also shown the door. So that's multiple intelligence branches, multiple chiefs of staff for entire branches of the military. And then there's also this. I'm not gonna read all these. There's a lot, basically. Air Force General Timothy Ho, who's the head of the US Cyber Command, director of the National Security Agency. We also have the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the former vice chief of staff of the Air Force, the commandant of the US Coast Guard, a whole bunch of lieutenant generals, the top military lawyer, the Air Force's top military lawyer, the only woman on NATO's military command. And look, I'm not an expert on the military. I was only in ROTC for a couple of years, but I'm gonna guess like most of the important positions. There's probably a few that haven't resigned or been fired yet, but a lot of them. And also the JAGs, by the way, those the judge advocate generals, which are important military legal officers as well. They're being purged too. And if you're a MAGA person, you probably think, well, they were all DEI or something. They're all woke. They all liked Disney, so I don't care. And maybe you're right, but maybe losing all of that accumulated expertise in less than 1 year, like the heads of multiple branches of the service, those who integrate them, the legal, like maybe that's actually a bad thing. Maybe that actually makes us less safe, less well prepared for a military like engagement. I don't know, Maz. Again, neither of us are experts on this, but I kind of feel like this isn't a good thing for America. What do you think?
Again, in Trump 1, you had guardrails. You had people that were experts that were in the room with him that were not doing what he wanted just to be loyalists. And now in Trump 2, it's all loyalists. And all you got to look at is the head of the FBI is Kash Big Eyes Patel. I mean, that's the head of our FBI. You think that guy's qualified? All you got to look at is this guy who was lecturing these generals, Pete Hegseth, the drunk dude. You think he's qualified? And I'll be honest with you, if I were a general and I had started this administration thinking, you know what, I'm just going to stay overseas, put my head down, get my work done. And they called me in for that joke of a meeting that they had, and I had to sit there and watch Pete Hegseth, I would probably retire. I'd get out. I go, you know what? I'm resigning. I don't need this crap. Because the fact is, it's got to be very disheartening and demeaning for these people who've spent their whole lives becoming experts, and they got to listen to this douchebag up there doing his thing. I mean, it goes on and on and on. I mean, you got Christine Nome running things. You got Tulsi Gabbard. These people are all very unqualified with the positions that they have. And this is now what they want to put in the military. And to your point, it's going to make us less safe. Our China is just, belly laughing all the way to the future. And we saw China, India, and Russia getting together in that conference in China. I mean, we are really, they're saying they're making America great again, and they really are just putting us down the dumpster. And the
funny thing is that they talk about standards.
Yeah.
They talk about people getting positions that they're not qualified for. And that is just everywhere. That's literally Pete Hegseth. These people are going to be replaced. What based off of expertise, ability to lead, or is it going to be interviews for loyalty tests? Yeah. Like look at ICE. They're flooding the streets with people with a couple of weeks of training that seemed only chosen because they despise migrants. That's it. His entire administration is just Fox News hosts. It's just DEI for like incompetent lackeys. That's all it is. And they scold us.
Yeah.
Because they think you're incompetent for any job if you're like a black pilot or whatever. Like again, it's deeply ironic.